Hi everyone, I'm nice and zoomed out because I am back to do another new makeup releases discussion. I have a lot more to talk about this time than in previous times because there's been a lot of really interesting stuff coming out lately all at once, which is, you know, fantastic. So I'm going to move over and everything is going to be over here. I have screenshots as always. I pull from various different Instagram accounts and I also go onto retailer websites to find the new stuff and screenshot it. So lots of different places that I'm pulling from. Let's go ahead and get started. This is in no particular order. It's a lot to go over and so I'm going to try and keep my commentary on each product to a minimum so we can blaze through these. As always, I love hearing your guys' thoughts on all this new stuff. I know that this can sometimes make it really tempting to go out and buy everything, so I'm not trying to encourage you to go out and spend your money on everything, but I just like talking about the new stuff. I'm kind of gonna have to go on a little bit of a makeup buying pause while I'm in Johns Hopkins just because if I buy stuff, it'll show up to my house and I won't be there to pick it up. So I'm kind of on a buying break right now, so I'm not likely to buy any of these soon. But maybe when I get back, we'll see what I feel like getting. So I don't have the screenshots on my phone yet. I actually screenshotted everything and saved it onto my computer. So I'm just reading on my little journal, but I do remember what everything looks like. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So the first thing that I wrote down all the way back in like February, like around like Valentine's Day, was that Patrick Ta is releasing a new collection of glosses and blushes. They have been out for quite some time at this point, and they are a lot more soft in comparison to his previous blushes. They are really, really pretty colors. I personally do quite like his cream blush formula and powder blush formula, so if I wanted to get them, I would have. Like if I had the makeup budget for it, I think I would have gotten these already, but I do have his original holiday palette and I do have his pink holiday face and eye palette. I also do have the other holiday palette that I didn't like. I don't know what I want to do with that one because I don't really like that one, but I do have the other two good ones and I do quite like the formula. I don't actually have a full-size blush duo from Patrick Ta, so maybe this will be my first time getting it. The reason I don't have the full size is because the original holiday palette, he released those as singles later, and so of course there was no point in me buying those again. So this time, I don't know. Definitely it's worth something that I'm considering for the upcoming VIB Rouge sale, but until then, I'm not going to get it, but I really did like how subtle and soft the shades were. I'm not into his glosses. I believe they're plumping and I'm not really into plumping, but the blushes definitely caught my eye. Okay, next, Dolce and Gabbana released a makeup collection, which I did not even realize Dolce and Gabbana made makeup. Like, I barely follow that brand. I don't know what they're doing half the time, but they released makeup. They released some colorful liners and an eyeshadow palette. The colorful liners actually kind of caught my eye because pastel liquid liners, I need those. And the palette swatches did look really pretty, but I'm going to be passing on both, and here's why. First off, the palette has a pressed glitter. I looked at the ingredients, that blue, it's a pressed glitter. Especially from a luxury brand, nah, we're not doing that. So that was an easy pass. And then the liners, unfortunately, are felt tip. I do not like felt tip liners. I am still looking for colorful, artistic brush tip liners. These are felt tip, so I'm passing. But I just wanted to point out that those existed, and for like all of 3 seconds, I was trying to decide which liner shades I was gonna get, but then I saw that they were felt tip, so no. Okay, next, there's some stuff from Wakemake that caught my eye. None of this is super new at this point, but I just wanted to really quickly point out that they've had some really cool stuff. First off, they just released a lip palette and a highlight quad. So I'm gonna have the highlight quad up first. And this totally gave me Dior Backstage highlighter quad dupe vibes. Like, I can't be the only one. So I just want to point that out that that's there. Wakemake, when they first started out as a brand, their quality was really hit or miss, but I feel like they've been releasing some really interesting things that have been really popular lately. I personally really want to try their like really dewy, like almost like hard-boiled egg trendy skin foundations. But I just want to point that out. The second thing they released were these lip palettes, and I was like, okay, it's been forever since I've seen a lip palette. So they released those. I'm not planning on getting them because I find them to be kind of impractical, but I thought that was really cool. They're releasing like a warm lip palette and a cool lip palette. The warm one had like, I think a little bit of a yellowish shade in it, so I was very tempted just for that, but it's cool, right? And then the other two things they're releasing that I do really want, the first one is the Blue Core eyeshadow palette. Now this has been out for probably at least 2 to 3 months now, so I do need to get my hands on it before it sells out, but it's so pretty. Like, it's just such a pretty palette. I've not really seen it done before either in America or Korea. Very, very unique. I saw so many Korean YouTube channels feature it because it was just such an interesting palette. And then another thing I saw them just release probably maybe like about a month ago is the Black Hush palette. This goes so dark and it's so intense. It reminds me of palettes that I saw from Chinese beauty brands with the black and the pink, very edgy, but also girly. That kind of reminds me of that, but now Wakemake has their own version. I really, really want to get both, and I'm hoping I can get both before they sell out, but I just wanted to share those. Blue Core and Black Hush, just like, they look so cool. Does anybody remember Tony Moly? Does anybody remember that brand? Because guess what? They just released new blushes, the jelly blushes, and they went absolutely so crazy popular in Korea, and Hoonian really, really likes them. So they came out on YesStyle already, and I do have a couple sitting in my cart. I still haven't made my YesStyle order yet. It just kind of grows and grows and grows and grows. I'll make it eventually. It's just, I thought I was gonna get it this month, but I'll just push it back to like later. I'll probably get it like, I might get it while I'm gone because some of the stuff in that cart is gonna take like 21 days to ship. So I might get it while I'm gone so that when I get back, I don't have to wait as long. I don't know. But they released these jelly tone blushes. I've heard so many really, really good things about them. It comes with a built-in applicator on the bottom, and I've heard that it's actually a really good applicator. The shades are so soft and muted and pretty. Tony Moly, I feel like we all collectively forgot that that brand existed, but this is really interesting. Now, just like all the other Korean beauty brands, their new packaging and logo and stuff is all super minimal and clean and solid colors and whatnot. Like, all the Korean brands look the same these days, but I still really, really like it, and so I would like to get 1 or 2 shades. Next, Lisa Eldridge had been doing some cat-themed teasers, and initially I was like, okay, if it's cat-themed, sign me up. I totally could go for it. But at the same time, I was 90% certain it was going to be an eyeliner, and if it's just a black liquid eyeliner, I already have one, I don't need another one. And sure enough, she released a mascara and an eyeliner, and so the mascara is like kitten lashes or something, and the eyeliner is like cat eye, you know, eyeliner. I'm passing on both of them. I don't need a black liquid liner right now, and while she does say that the mascara is water resistant, I don't think that's going to be enough for my stubborn lashes. I also do have a cup full of mascaras that I'm working through. I don't need another one, especially not another high-end one. So I'm passing, but that's there if you are interested. I do really want to try more from Lisa Eldridge eventually. I really want to try her liquid shadows. I really want to try more of her eyeshadow palettes. I really want to try her foundation. I'm hoping she brings back her liquid blushes someday so I can try those. I've heard her liquid highlighters, like the Charlotte Tilbury-esque ones, I've heard they're a lot shinier. I've heard those are really good. There's a lot of things from her brand I do really want to try, and now that they're on Selfridges, it's cheaper on Selfridges than on the Lisa Eldridge US website, so maybe someday, but just hasn't happened yet. Okay, next is from ItsBel. Now, I have not heard anything coming from ItsBel Cosmetics in forever. I do have their Dawn of Fall palette, but I've only used it a handful of times. I thought it was fine, but the squishy shades and everything that got really trendy for a minute, I'm kind of out of love with those just because they don't wear super well. So while I do have it, it really just kind of sits in my collection. They teased and released a new palette called Full Moon, which totally gave me the vibes of Gourmand Girl Silent Night, which I really did want to get, but I just didn't have the money or the time. It reminds me of that, but interestingly, they priced it at $32, which stood out to me because I really appreciate seeing an indie brand that has a manufacturer pricing their eyeshadows fairly. Like, I am so over seeing indie brands have manufactured eyeshadows, but they price them at the range of handmade shadows. I'm like just over that. And so when I saw that it was $32, I was like, that is such a fair price. I really want to buy this palette, if only just to support them and be like, hey, I really, really like that you are pricing it fairly, so I'm going to buy this palette, add to your sales, and show that there is demand for this kind of stuff. Plus, the color scheme is really pretty anyways. I haven't gotten it yet just because of the fact that I'm going to be out for a couple weeks, but maybe, I don't know if it's limited or if it's permanent, but I am still debating on getting it. But I just wanted to point that out. I was really glad to see them do that. Lilybyred has released a new kind of soda themed collection with greens and pinks. It is so cute, so vibrant, definitely perfect for spring. I don't know if I'm gonna get any of it. I was thinking about those eyeshadow duos, I was thinking about the lip tints, but we'll see. I was considering it, but I just wanted to put up the collection picture for you guys so you can see how cute it is. I really wish more Western brands would take a page out of Korean brands, because if there's one thing Korean brands do so well, it's their capsule collection themes and concepts are always so cute, so well done. The photo shoots and the campaign shoots always, are so pretty. They really do a really great job of showcasing the products, and the products are always designed so well around specific themes. I do wish Western brands could have more thoughtful collections like that. But so I just wanted to share that. It just really stood out to me for being just so cute and aesthetic. And maybe I'll get some, I'm not sure yet. Okay, next I saw Freya on Instagram post about this, and so I went onto the internet to find it myself. And the brand Chenyan, they actually do have a US website, and their US name is Cheer Up. They have 2 official palettes that I did not see this on the official Cheer Up international website, but I did see it on, like, you know, Taobao resellers and stuff. They have 2 new palettes, one of which reminds me, and this was pointed out in the comments, one of which really looks like Mario's, the Mario palette. I don't remember what it's called, but that Makeup by Mario palette, like Surreal palette or something, that was what it gave me the vibes of that. And then they also released an all shimmer only colorful palette. They both look really cute. I may go on, I still have my super buy order waiting in the warehouse, and they'll hold it for up to 90 days. I'm thinking I may go ahead and buy both of these off of the Taobao shop and then use super buy to buy it and consolidate my order. I'm really thinking about doing that because those 2 really stood out to me. I've been wanting to try Chenyan for a while now, and while I like everything they have on offer, it all looks so aesthetic and pretty. These 2 really caught my eye. So if anything, I may go for the neutral one. I don't know if I'm gonna go for the all shimmer one, but yeah, really interesting. And by the way, just for some trivia, Chenyan is the same brand that released that mildly viral uber long Year of the Dragon limited edition palette, which has long since been sold out. But if any of you saw that, it's like so long. That was Chenyan. Okay, next, YesStyle is going to be renewing, reformulating, and renaming their Shine Balms and their Candy Glaze sticks, which totally surprised me. First off, the price has shot up to like $45 to $47. Does anyone remember when they used to be $39? Like, is it just me? So the price went up. They are being renamed to Love Shine and Love Shine Candy Glaze. So it looks like the Candy Glaze are going to be brought under the Love Shine range, and then they are also going to be announced, released a Love Shine lipstick, which who knows what other lipstick they're going to discontinue for that. So it looks like YesStyle is doing that. I'm a little bit nervous because I hope they're not trying to go the clean route. I really hope they're not going to do that, but we'll see. I did find the original Shine Balms. They're pretty. I do have a couple shades. They're a little bit on the thin, firm side. I definitely kind of can tell that it's a little, compared to a lot of the newer tinted balms on the market, they are kind of a dated formula. And then the Candy Glaze sticks, I have a couple of those. I do really like those, but there is also a time and place for those as well. Those are kind of those trendy, really soft, mushy ones that I would not recommend you leave in the car. So we'll see what the new Shine Balms are going to look like. I'll be interested to see how they update that. I definitely will want to swatch it in store, but like, oh my gosh, the price increase, like makeup prices are out of control. So I don't know if or when I'm gonna get it because I'm not about to spend that much on that kind of lipstick. I don't know. You can preview it on Sephora. The new 20 shades, I don't know, only maybe 1 or 2 of them actually caught my eye. The rest looked kind of bland, but we'll see. So I'm a little bit nervous, but what can you do? Okay, next, I actually really want to buy this. I may just go ahead and wait for it to come in store to Ulta, but I do actually really want this. NYX is coming out with a new matte buttermelt bronzer, and the shades are actually surprisingly rosy. I'm really interested in this. It's going to be only $10, which the amount of product in it plus NYX's whole price creep thing, it is more expensive than NYX used to be, but it is still, it's a drugstore bronzer. $10 is still, you know, definitely in the lower end of prices as far as bronzer is concerned, especially considering the kind of makeup I sometimes spend my money on. So I really want to get this. I probably will. It's just something I can just treat myself to. Maybe if I stumble onto an Ulta while I'm up in Virginia, I'll just go ahead and go in and look for it. I thought it was really cool. The packaging is so pretty. I love that kind of packaging where it matches the inside. It's like matte. It's got the, you know, the sleek minimal font. Like I really like that. So I definitely want to buy that. And then next is the Glaminatrix has released a new palette called Pretty in Pastels. Initially, I was really interested. I thought about maybe getting it, but I don't know. The way that the pastel tones look, they're oddly desaturated. Like they almost have too much gray. So then I was like a little bit turned off. So at this point in time, I think I'm gonna skip because I have so many other things I'm interested in. But it is interesting always to see more indie brands do their own takes on pastel palettes, but the shades seemed oddly grayed out to me, so I did really like that it was, despite being a pastel palette, they put in a lot of darker tones, so it is a complete palette. I did really like that, but the pastel tones themselves didn't quite seem up my alley. So I think I'm gonna pass, but that is out. And it's, I think, $47, which is not awful. So if you want it, you know, it's right there. Next is two things from Peripera. First off, they're going to be releasing a new matte tint called the Over Blur tint. Now, I don't know if these are going to be like the thick moussey kinds or if they're going to be like the thin watery kinds that dry down matte. There's not too many details on it yet, so I don't really know very much about it in that front. I'm hoping to see some demos of it. Maybe Minsko will do a lip swatch video before I make the decision, because if it's more like those blur water tints, I don't really like those. I feel like those dry out my lips, but if it's more of like that moussey thick tint, then I may go for it. Peripera always does do really good lip products, I'll be honest, and whenever they release a completely new range, it's a little bit exciting, so I'll be excited to see that. Next from Peripera, they're releasing a new collection of lip balms, blushes, and an eyeshadow face palette. It's called the Night Peri Friends collection. The palette itself is probably going to be a skip for me. I just don't really need it. But the new shades of the lip balms look so interesting. I've actually never tried Peripera's lip balm formula. I do really want to sometime. There have been a lot of shades I've wanted to try over the years, but it just never really happened. But maybe I'll go for it this time, but I definitely will pick up the blushes at some point in time. I do collect the Sunshine blushes from Peripera. I have almost all the shades at this point. The only ones I'm missing are from the Maltese, the dog collection. I don't have those. I just wasn't interested in those. But it looks like shades similar to those are going to be in this collection because the blushes are gradient blushes. The Maltese collection, the blushes were gradient blushes. I almost wonder if they're almost just like kind of doing like a stealth re-promote because one of them looks really similar. So I definitely am going to pick up the blushes to continue my Peripera collection. I do really like the Peripera blush formula. I am very happy to have a pretty complete collection and I will continue to collect them for the time being. Okay, next, I was so excited when I saw this. It looked so interesting. It kind of reminded me of the Khaki and Finding Ferdinand collection, but unfortunately these are plumping glosses, and according to reviews, there is minty tingling. I just don't know if I can do this, but Heart% is releasing top coating lip plumpers. The shades, especially the mood changer ones, just look so interesting and pretty and beautiful. Now, I don't know how tingly they are because the 2/Floor lip changers are very slightly plumping, but it's very tolerable and I can barely feel it. I don't know how intense of a tingle Koreans like. I really couldn't say. So I'm tempted to try one and maybe I'll pick one up. But if it's too tingling, I can't do it. Like, especially if it burns, it's just not for me. I just can't do that kind of feeling. Minty, I can tolerate to an extent, but it's so pretty. I don't know, the how beautiful the shades look may overcome my dislike for plumping products, but I just can't find any information on how plumping it is. But if I can find that out, I may get the darker one. It just looks so pretty. Next, Desek is releasing some new products. First, they're releasing 3 new highlighters. They look so pretty. I think I will eventually pick up 1, 2, or even all 3 eventually. I don't know when. I would love to get on the Desek PR list. I've been seeing a lot of people receive Desek PR who have even fewer followers than me, so I feel like there's a chance. I just don't know where to contact to ask, but I definitely do want to try these highlighters. And then next, I'm not going to get any of these, but they're releasing larger eyeshadow palettes. These are called the Mood Shadow palettes, and they cover each season. So like there's like summer, spring, fall, winter, like the warm, cool thing. They cover each kind of quadrant of the spectrum. So it's like whatever your personal color is, you get the corresponding palette. Now, I'm not interested in these because they don't go dark at all, but I guess if you like the Desek formula and you wanted something really light, but you wanted a lot of colors, that is a thing now. Desek does have a very large range of 9-pan palettes. They are very popular. I have a couple. They're really nice, honestly. But yeah, that's there. Okay, next from Romand. I am gonna get this at some point. I'm not sure when, but it is definitely going to be gotten. Probably I'm gonna wait for it to come to YesStyle, but Romand is releasing a new contour palette called Better Than Contour, and there's a warm one and a cool one, so I'm more interested in the cool one. They did have an original contour product where it was like circle shaped and there was kind of a crescent where it was like 2 different shades, but this is a new one that has a much larger range of like shades to pick from inside of the palette. It is very pretty to look at, and the shades look really pretty, so I definitely am very interested in getting this. I do really like Romand and I'm always excited to see what they come out with next. And then next is new Pro Eye palettes from Clio. So their Pro like Air palette kind of range, I think I have one or two. They're really, really good. Like Clio's eyeshadow formula is super, super underrated, and they have been releasing some new colors of their palettes lately. And their newest one is their fruit grocery themed. Again, like again with the collections and the capsule collections and the concepts, it's so cute. You can get these, in Korea, you can get these sets that even come with stickers, so you can sticker bomb your palette. I just wanted to point out that they existed. I'm not going to be getting either of these because they really don't go dark enough for me to be interested in, but they look really, really pretty. Staple neutral palettes if you were interested. I do really like the Clio Air palette formula. I think it's really, really good. So if you were to get it, I don't think you'd be disappointed. And I really like the packaging. Next, we're going back to indie. Sinful Echoes is going to be releasing new multichromes for their spring collection. I am so interested. About half of them I do really want, so hopefully I can actually catch it on time. They're also going to be finally restocking Rubrum, which I missed out on last time. It is a deep black metallic red. It kind of reminds me of that red shade from Odin's Eye that people lost their minds over. I really want to get that too. I'm very excited for these. The swatches look beautiful. Sinful Echoes is handmade, and I think their prices are super fair, so I am definitely down to try these. I can't wait. Next is Haus Labs. They are releasing their blushes again, and this time they're permanent. So I actually didn't even realize that their blushes were limited edition last time until Hibiscus Haze disappeared, but they are re-releasing them. They're renewing the packaging. The formula supposedly is the same, but the price, the packaging, and the amount of product has changed drastically, and I have some words. So I'm probably going to end up getting these at some point, especially Hibiscus Haze. But I just wanted to point out, so first off, the original blushes had 11 grams of product, which I think we all can agree is kind of an excessive amount of blush. The new blushes are going to have 5.5 grams of product, which is a lot more reasonable, but the price is only dropping from $38 to $32. So people did the math. It is like 80% more expensive per gram, which is so irritating when shrinkflation to that degree happens. Like Tarte just renewed and re-released all of their blushes, and they're like a third smaller for the same price. Like it really, really annoys me. Like if Haus Labs was going to drop the price from $38 down to like something else, they really should have dropped it more or kept the product like maybe not halved the amount of product. Like I feel like they could have dropped it down to like $28 to $30 because of the fact that there is literally half the product. So the fact that it is so much more expensive per gram is really irritating. I'm probably still going to end up getting it. I do like that the lid is the same color as the product inside, but I just wanted to say, like, I'm so tired of seeing shrinkflation. It is so annoying, but I guess this is just the world we live in now. Next is going to be a release from Danessa Myricks. She is releasing a new Groundworks palette. Now, I never got the first Groundworks palette. I thought about getting the Trend Mood box that had it, but I completely forgot about it releasing. And of course, they sell out usually within the hour, so never got that. And so I just never got it. I have been thinking, I've always wanted to try it, but I just don't know if I really can justify spending that kind of money on a novelty item that I'll only try once. But they are releasing a new palette called Blooming Romance, and it's a pink themed Groundworks palette. Everybody that saw it in the comment section has been so excited about it. I don't really know how I feel about it. I don't know if I'm gonna get it, but it is really pretty. I do think that Danessa Myricks makes really interesting products with really interesting textures. So if you do want to get it, it's there. It's coming out soon. I still kind of want to try the original Groundworks palette, but I don't know if or when I'll get to it. We'll see. It is permanent, but yeah, I just wanted to point that out there. If anyone's tried Groundworks, please let me know how it performs. I'd be interested to find out. Next, this came out a little while ago at this point. Huda Beauty has released these new Creamy Obsessions palettes. I was really interested in trying them because cream to powder shadows tend to work much better, and my eyelids have been so dry lately. Like, you can't really see it because I'm zoomed out, but my skin looks so bad today. Like, I have had so many videos back to back to back where my skin just looks so bad. I can't get anything to look good. My foundation is emphasizing all of my pores and textures. My eyeshadow just looks terrible. It's like there's like micro bumps all over my eyelids that the eyeshadow's fighting against. Nothing is blending or laying down. So I was really interested in trying these Creamy Obsessions, if only to find an eyeshadow that would be friendlier for my dry eyelids. But I was seeing some people mention that they're kind of messy. They don't wear super well. They crease really quickly. I don't know if I'm gonna have that problem because my eyelids are so dry, but I also don't really know if I want to spend that kind of money to find that out right now because my makeup budget is still pretty tight. So I don't know if I'm gonna get these, but I was initially interested in them, so I may get one during the VIB sale. Maybe that's what I'll do. Or I know Huda Beauty always has really good sales on her website during Black Friday. I may just go ahead and wait. all the way till that before I get these. I'm not sure, but I was kind of interested. Okay, we're getting to the end now. Next, Guerlain released lip oils. So it was kind of strange. Initially when they released on Selfridges, it was as if they sold out really quickly, but then a lot of people who bought it said that their orders got canceled. Well, they're all on Selfridges now, and they're also all on the US website. They look really pretty. I saw the lip swatches from Lexi Jong, and it seems like they're, you know, pigmented enough that they show up. I would be interested to try one, maybe, like treat myself to one, but I do have a pretty healthy collection of Dior lip glow oils. So I don't know how redundant it would be, but I kind of want to try it, so we'll see. I don't know, maybe I'll treat myself to it later. Alright, next, Natasha Denona released a new Hyper Natural face palette. Now I'm going to be passing on this because I don't really support face palettes that are advertised as universal but have a bronzer that is very obviously not universal. I'm just really not about that life. That's one of the reasons I kind of don't really buy from Hourglass anymore. So I'm gonna be skipping on it. Maybe if it ever goes like 50% off, I'll buy it just for myself, but I'm not gonna be buying this. The eyeshadows also seem to be, there was like a lot of new formulas in the eyeshadows. I wasn't really so sure how much I wanted to try those. The blush sage, I didn't know how much I thought they'd look good on me, so I'm passing on it for now. I really wish she had released at least one more shade so that she could have a light face palette and a dark face palette, because there's no way those blushes or bronzers are gonna work on every single skin tone. So I was very disappointed to see that she just was like she's really aggressively pushing it as universal too, and it's like, girl, it's not universal. I'm sorry, but it's just not. So I'm skipping it, maybe if it goes on sale, but it is out. It's gotten pretty good reviews so far from YouTubers I follow who bought it, but yeah, I'm skipping. And then last, but certainly not least, but I don't know when this is going to come out. I haven't found it anywhere, but I did see this on Makeup on Your Radar, that Bobbi Brown is releasing these new cream eyeshadow eyeliner hybrid sticks. And the reason I am really interested in trying these is because of the shades. They are dark and cool and muted without reading as just an off black. The subtlety and the nuances of those shades absolutely caught my attention. So whenever they do come out, I think I may go ahead and just pick up one, the cool dark brown one, because I'm so eager to see how they work. Now I'm a little bit nervous about if they'll like set down, because it seemed like they are advertised as like smudgeable eyeliners, hence the whole eyeshadow eyeliner hybrid thing. But if it like is one of those like the melt one where you get a ton of playtime but then it sets down really firmly, I will still like it. So I'm very interested in those. I don't know when or where they're going to be coming out, so hopefully I can track them down eventually. But yeah. Okay, that's it. So I'm really happy with myself. I was able to film all of this in about half an hour. I was able to blitz through this really quickly. So this also hopefully will take me less time to edit. Let me know if there's anything in this video that you're interested in. Let me know what your thoughts are. Move back to the middle. So that's it for today's little makeup release thing. Again, I only ever talk about stuff I'm interested in. There is so much new makeup coming out every single second. I'm not going to talk about all of it. This is just a fraction. So yeah, thank you guys for joining me for this little video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I love talking about new makeup with you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.